Trump slams Biden after the Democrats push outrageous lies about January 6th while pushing a mainstream agenda to shut Trump down and try to ban him from running for president. And this happens after Biden mocks Trump and Republicans over the 2020 election and says he could not care less about inflation or the supply chain crisis. My friends, we need to tell the truth about January 6th. Hello everyone, this is Mr. Obvious, and today on the internet, I want to clear up a few things. Now, I'd considered not covering this, but everything considered, I feel like I have to talk about it, folks. The Democrats are pushing lies. Lie after lie about January 6th. They're trying to make this some sort of 9/11 or Pearl Harbor. Kamala Harris, for example, compared January 6th to those events. Now, this caused a lot of problems, this caused a lot of criticism, but more importantly, I have to clear up the lies that they've been telling folks and talk about the feud currently going on between Trump and the Democrats. This is a story from today. But before we do, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon for updates for future content. And if you like these videos, please share them with your family and friends. And now, a word from our sponsor. Introducing Webull. Webull is a convenient and easy trading app where you can buy and sell cryptocurrency and stocks. Join Webull today and deposit $5 to get 2 free stocks worth up to $1,400. Folks, it's basically free money. All you have to do is click the affiliate link down below in the description, deposit $5, and you could get up to $1,000 in free stock. Join today by clicking the affiliate link down below. And we're back. So let's jump right in, folks. Biden recently gave a speech on January 6th, eviscerating Donald Trump, saying, quote, Donald Trump held a dagger to the throat of democracy by watching the January 6th riot live on TV and doing nothing to stop it, Biden said on his speech during January 6th. Now, this whole event was absolutely pathetic. I think on C-SPAN, or one of those political, wherever they were streaming it, it had like 63 viewers. Nobody cared about Joe Biden's speech. It was lame. And more importantly, this started off a huge feud between Trump and between Biden. And Trump, of course, hit back on Joe's speech, calling it nothing more than political theater. Now, one of the key facts I want to start with is the fact that they keep saying, and they keep making this claim, oh, those Republicans killed 5 people on January 6th. Well, this is not true. I want to show you the following tweet. You see, Nancy Pelosi held a moment of silence in Congress, of which I think only Liz and Dick Cheney were the only Republicans to actually show up for this moment of silence. It was absolute cringe. And they held this moment of silence for the 4 officers who supposedly died on or because of January 6th. They say Brian Sicknick, Jeffrey Smith, Howard Lennon-Good, and Billy Evans. Now, Matt Walsh replies, Sicknick died of a stroke. Evans was killed by a leftist lunatics weeks afterwards. The other 2 were suicides. So, not only is Pelosi blatantly lying, she is, as Matt Walsh says, she is in the ruling class, so she is allowed to do this without consequence. They are lying. They've been lying about the whole event this entire time. One of the most offensive things to me was when Kamala Harris compared this to 9/11 or Pearl Harbor. It's as if the Democrats want so desperately to compare everything to the worst events in American history. I want to show you something here on Disclosed TV. Now, this was a January 6th vigil held outside the U.S. Capitol. This clip got 1 million views. 1 million views on Twitter.
God bless America, my home, sweet home.
I'm Michael Jordan. Stop it. Get some help.
This is what they were doing on January 6th. This was a show. Really, a vigil? For what? There's only one person who actually died on January 6th, and her name was Ashley Babbitt, okay? An American, veteran, and I think some people have even said that she was pregnant. Now, I don't know about that, but she was a veteran, and she was an American, and she was unarmed, and she was murdered in cold blood by a police officer who later went on, by an officer who later went on to brag about it on TV. as if he was the victim. He was never put in prison. This is the world we are living in. This guy got off completely free. Now, I want to show you another story that's relevant right now. I'm not really going to talk about it because that's a whole nother conversation. But here on the news, Ahmaud Arbery's killers, Gregory and Travis McMichael, have been sentenced to life without parole. And then the Daily Mail writes here, for the murder of a black jogger. Lies. Lies. Many of you may be familiar with the Ahmaud Arbery case. He was a man who was caught trespassing multiple times in a neighborhood where he was not supposed to be. Gregory and Travis McMichael chased him, and they ended up getting into a confrontation, and Arbery tried to grab the gun, and they shot him. Now, they've been sentenced to life in prison, including the guy who shot the footage, even though he was not involved. So let me get this straight. First of all, this guy was not a jogger. You don't jog in Timberland boots, first of all. He was wearing Timberlands. For those of you who don't know, Timberland boots are work boots. They are not made for running. They are not comfortable to run in. You do not jog in work boots. He was not a jogger. This is another lie and another false narrative. They're all going to prison for life. But you're telling me the person who shot and killed Ashley Babbitt is not going to go to prison for life? They were both unarmed, but one was a minority and one was white. Is that the difference here? It's stuff like this, the double standards, that really piss me off. Now, I want to jump over to Trump's comments because he did, in fact, roast Biden and slam him for his insane January 6th speech. Headline, Biden is the voice of desperation and despair. Trump tears into Biden, compares him to an insecure dictator, and says that the January 6th anniversary was the last gasps of the left-wing political and media establishment. Yeah, pretty much. So here the story says, Donald Trump unloaded a verbal broadside on Joe Biden on Friday, dismissing him as the voice of desperation and despair, in response to the president's attack on him a day earlier for inciting the January 6th assault on the U.S. Capitol. Trump accused Biden of slandering his domestic opponents as terrorists to distract from his own failures as president. He went on to say, quote, what we have witnessed yesterday was the last gasps of a corrupt and discredited left-wing political and media establishment that has, for decades, driven our community into the ground, shipping away our jobs, surrendering our strength, sacrificing our sovereignty, attacking our history and values, and trying to turn America into a country that people can barely recognize, he said in an emailed statement. He was responding to the blistering speech by Biden. Folks, I really can't say it better myself. This is exactly how people feel. Now, the Democrats, they want to be hyperbolic. They want to go on TV. And Biden, even now, is trying to blame Trump for his failure of an economy. Take a look at the following story from today. Here it says, the Grinch did not steal Christmas, nor any votes. Biden mocks Trump and Republicans over the 2020 election and supply chain crisis. Criticism and insists it's malarkey. He doesn't care about inflation. President Joe Biden defended his economic record and took shots at Republicans as he addressed December's dismal job numbers. He defended his administration's work on the supply chain. Now, there was this outrageous tweet put out by Biden on Twitter, and he was like, guys, the economy is doing great. The stock market, which my predecessor was so proud of, is up 20%. This guy did not even have the guts to say Trump. That's how much of a coward he is. And that's where we're at, folks. Now, if you go on Joe Biden's Twitter page, it's just him constantly complaining about Trump, constantly, blaming Trump for January 6th, and, they're still going on about it, even now. I find these people truly despicable. Absolutely despicable. In my opinion, this man has no right to be in office, for a lot of reasons. For moral reasons, for competence reasons. I don't think he's competent for the job. I think he's out of his mind. And, 20%, what does it mean that the stock market is up 20%? It's meaningless. The stock market is up 20% because Biden has printed trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. So stocks are up because of inflation. Meanwhile, the cost of everything is going up dramatically, and inflation is far greater than your stock growth. So we're actually at a net negative thanks to inflation. But they keep going on Twitter posting lies about how the economy is good and how unemployment is good. They are lying to you. These are manipulations of the numbers. Unemployment is terrible. Inflation is terrible. Things are not good. But that, my friends, is merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. What do you think about this story? I felt the need to talk about this because I'm just so sick of them lying. Let me know what you think about this story by commenting down below in the comment section. As always, support the channel by joining me on Patreon or Subscribestar, as this channel is currently not monetized. It is supported by viewers like you. Anyhow, thanks for watching, folks. Have a good day, have a good evening, have a good morning. I'll see you all next time.